We just got our blood work done.
Yeah, we did.
And our doctors asked us, what are we doing to have such great blood work?
Yeah. And you know what we told them?
ProCare!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we told them like, yeah, we take ProCare every day because they have a multivitamin that you can just take one a day.
Yes, exactly. They have a capsule and a chewable form. And not only do they have vitamins, but they also have calcium chews.
Oh my God, they're so good.
They're so delicious. It's like our own little sweet treat for the end of the night.
It really is because they have the dark chocolate and they have the cinnamon roll.
Yes, and I love the salted caramel and the dinner mint.
Alrighty, we'll go to procarenow.com
and use code OSLP at checkout to save some money. You guys ask us all the time, what is our favorite protein powder?
Yeah, literally, we see this question every day.
And the answer is always
Devotion! Yeah. Oh my goodness. I even use it this morning to make my own sweet treat for nighttime because it's just a brownie batter pudding. And you literally just use 1 scoop and then milk or water.
And then I use it every morning in my coffee. It's so delicious. Oh my God. I want one right now thinking of it.
Seriously, it's 20 grams of protein. So go get yours now at devotionnutrition.com.
And use code OSLP to save some money.
So,
all right.
Okay.
Count us down.
Welcome back, OSLP.
Oh, no. No, I can't do it. Okay.
Oh, all the coffee.
Okay. Let's do it one more time.
Okay.
Welcome back, OSLP family.
Welcome.
You are listening to Our Sleeve Life podcast, and this is Kelly. I'm coming to you sick.
This is Mel, who is not sick.
She's not sick. She's not. So if you are listening to this and you have not bought tickets for San Diego,
what's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you, first off? Second of off, I am going to be, there's not going to be any brain in my head for this episode.
I can tell already. So you just go to Diaries.com. Your tickets are only $35 for the San Diego.
And if you have not gone over to patreon.com/OSLP, what is your problem? Go over there, sign up, pick a tier. I suggest the Benchy tier.
At least,
only because you get to join us on Facebook in our special group just for Benchies.
Which is growing like crazy. We have over 100 people in our own Benchy support group. So come join us, come hang out. There's even a tier that's $10 where you get exclusive episodes that we do. Mm-hmm. They're 20 to 30 minutes is us just chit-chatting.
You get to know a lot more about us.
A lot more behind the scenes. Yes. And you get to also see all the videos 10 days early. So like if you're not watching it right now, you can always go over to YouTube, hit the little subscribe and the bell button so it notifies you. It means a lot more to us than it does to you. So just go over and do that. That's an easy, free way to support us. So that way we can get you all the videos because we have literally season 2 all the way through season 5.
Okay.
And we're about to go into season 6. So I'm excited.
Season 6.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
In July is season 6.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
Cool.
So if you are watching this, I am wearing my Walt Disney World shirt. I just got this actually on Friday and I love it already. God. I wore it in honor of the lady that we have on today.
That's right.
Because
beautiful.
We have Miss Stephanie, One Hungry Mother
from Bariatric Society on.
Yes.
Thank you. I love a sweatshirt homage. So I'm so pleased to see the Walt Disney sweatshirt. And to clarify Kelly's sweatshirt, I am not Walt Disney World.
No, she is not.
I am hosting a retreat through Bariatric Society in partnership with Advent Health, May 5th through 8th. That's right. It'll be in Orlando. And as part of the ticket, we are taking everyone to Disney World Friday evening for a big NSV together. So we were pretty excited about that. We still have tickets available to the event. Nice. I know hotel rooms are booking up real fast right now. So it's one of those where if you want to come, book it now. Or,
do it now.
Or book a different hotel. But it's going to be amazing. Yeah. Thursday through Sunday, events, activities, workshops, Disney World, Mother's Day brunch, all kinds of awesomeness with 200 of your bariatric besties.
That's awesome.
a lot of opportunities to get to know other people in this community and build some of those lifelong relationships, which is my core mission.
Yes.
Right. It's finding your people. We've learned that it's very, very important through this journey. So you can find them at these retreats or like any tours, things like that, because you need it.
Yes.
You really do need it.
We went to the last retreat and it was like, amazing. I still have dreams about how amazing it was. Yeah. And I know you weren't there, Stephanie, but know that like every person in there, it was just a great experience. And like the love that was felt, I can only like, this next one's going to be incredible.
Yeah, so I'm going to be very overwhelmed. I know people don't know this about me usually, but I am definitely an introvert. I recharge from alone time. Yep. And we've had a few meetups across the country, and even those bursts of like hugging and loving on everybody, like it pulls everything out. So if you see me at retreat and I'm like,
zombie
confused. Everything's fine. That's just my normal state around that many people.
Well, and you're kind of doing a big job there.
Yeah.
So
just a little.
Want it to be perfect for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to be perfect.
Exactly. It will be. It's going to be amazing.
Well, and where do they go to get those tickets?
Yes, they can go to bariatricsociety.com, toggle over to events, or go. Obviously, we have a direct link that's 2022 Bariatric Retreat 2022.
We'll get there.
Why is that so hard for me? Bariatric Retreat 2022.com. It's a place where you can get a ticket to a thing that I do.
Oh, I was like, you know what? Just for her, it'll be in the description, so you can click on it.
We will have those links below.
Yeah.
So so we don't have to listen to Stephanie try to say that again.
So I don't have to yell words and numbers at you. You could also go to Bariatric Society or One Hungry Mother's Instagram page, and links are in bio.
There you go. There you go. And for those that don't know, this is our 1-year check-in with Miss Stephanie.
Yes.
Yeah. She's been with us for a little over a year, and we get to, because last time we talked, we were about to get in my pool. And we totally did. We were talking about you wearing like a 2 pieces versus 1 piece,
which you were just in Mexico.
Yeah.
And wearing a 2 piece and looking amazing, like on point.
Thank you. Yeah. It's interesting. So I'm 14 months out now. And it's like, I even feel weird saying this out loud, but like, I genuinely love my body right now.
Yay!
It almost feels like a thing you're not supposed to say. Right. But I still probably have about 20 pounds. I'd love to lose. I still have lots of cellulite. I've got a varicose vein that's trying its level best to pop out. I've, got wrinkles and stretch marks and sags, but it's all kind of the scrapbook of my life.
Yeah.
So I like that. A really good place with like where I'm at. I can wear straight size clothes. I can look at a video of myself jumping off a boat without feeling big feelings in the negative sphere. And I was on vacation and just rocking around in a swimsuit for days on end. And that would have never, ever, ever happened before. It would have been like, okay, I'm taking off my cover up to run into the pool, and then I'm going to run out and put my cover up back on, type of thing. So, it's a little mind blowing to me right now. That trip to Mexico was a big like eye opener for just how far I've come in terms of body love and body neutrality.
Yeah. And that was for your birthday, wasn't it?
Yes. Birthday trip. Eric, my husband, asked what I wanted for my birthday, and I was like, just a few days checked out of the country with a few girlfriends where I don't have to think about anything. So that's what I did.
Yay. I love it. Because that's what I just trip. Yeah, I just did that checkout thing this whole weekend, and that's a real deal. That is necessary to recharge. Of
it
like
makes
just
you so
nothing.
much better at everything else whenever you come back. You're like, oh,
yeah.
I guess my brain does need to recharge.
It does, and I feel lighter. Like I feel like
you look lighter,
right? I just feel just chill. I feel back to normal me, And I think I just needed the unplugging. So guys, if you need to unplug, just do it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It'll still be there.
Everything will still be there.
Yeah. It'll still be there when you get back.
Yeah.
I swear. It's just
and I wouldn't
sometimes you need it.
necessarily encourage this. Dave Ramsey will come at me big time, but you know, if you need to go somewhere, there's always credit cards. In my case, I'm not making an income right now, but I was like, this is happening because I need it to happen.
Yeah.
Hello, Chase.
Self-care is huge after, like, it is before surgery, but you realize like you're not doing it. Like that's kind of like how we got ourselves into this position. And afterwards, it's like, it's so big deal. Like you need to do it. Yep. And if that means charging a card so you can go on a trip, just fucking do it. Cause guess what? Money comes and money goes through your whole life. And you should focus on yourself and what you need to get done. And if that means you're going to a Mexico trip, fucking let's go.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Let's do this.
I mean, you definitely gave me FOMO. I'm like, oh, I want to go back to Mexico.
Oh, let's go, girl. Let's go. I talked to I probably shouldn't say this on a podcast, but I talked to the travel guy while we were there and was like, so what would coordinating a group rate look like here?
Oh, yeah.
Smart. The brain never turns off.
I know. It never actually turns off. I'm like, could we do an event at an adults only all-inclusive resort?
I think you can.
Yes.
I think you totally can.
We can. Yeah. I'm totally down.
I did the same
It'd be
thing.
a little more expensive than retreat.
Yeah. But I feel like it's a different kind of like feel to it.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a hangout and just be yourself and just like recharge.
Yeah. So maybe come 2024, we'll do
I don't think I can wait that long. I don't think I can wait that long.
That's okay.
I'll coordinate smaller ones between now and then.
There we go.
Yay.
Okay. So what has been like the biggest difference since the 6 months till now? Like what have you seen in yourself?
I think I'm getting a better handle on not on my mental health overall. Like I'm still having the cycles of low days, but I'm getting a better handle on the cues. So how to recognize when it's coming and start to take the steps I need to get out of it. Right. So I may have talked about this at the 6 months, but I know for me, when I stopped brushing my teeth at night, when I stopped doing my like nighttime routine situation, that's an easy cue for me that like, oh, I'm headed into some dark days, whether it's I'm not taking care of myself. So that's what's driving me into a dark day, or I'm headed in that direction already. And so I've stopped taking care of myself. I'm not really sure, chicken and egg, but it's like, I woke up this morning, for example, and was like, oh, I did not brush my teeth last night. I just like went straight to bed. And I was like, oh, time to journal, time to make a list of the like personal things that I need to get done to like make myself feel healthy. So working out, tracking my water, things like that to like, zip, like, let's get back where we need to go. So that I don't fall into a nervous breakdown. I laugh. It's not funny, but
yeah. I mean, it happens. I mean, you can't be somber about it all the time. Like it happens. And if your natural reaction is to laugh, then just laugh. Cause that's, I mean,
life's
it is
hilarious.
What it is. Yeah. Life is hilarious. Yeah.
And
I can feel you on the whole working out section because I was, we actually just recorded an episode on for the patrons all about our working out and how my mindset has completely flipped since being back in the gym and like moving most days. And just Mel was like, yeah, it's like you're back to where you were before. Cause I had just this section of time where I was just like, you say one thing, I'm going to punch your face. Like I was mad. Like I was mad at the world and I don't know what I was mad about. But as soon as that started, like the gym started going and the physical activity, it was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I felt, like Mel said, lighter.
Yeah,
like,
lighter.
Well, and I'll be honest, I do not work out for my physical health. I work out for my mental health these days. And that's another one that's been a huge change between 6 months and now is I got I think it was the 4-month mark that I was like, okay, I need to start exercising as part of this bariatric journey. Like I know that that'll help me lose weight faster. That's part of the goal, but I was never really very consistent with it because it was like a box I needed to check, right? A chore I needed to do as part of my bari tasks, right?
Yeah.
Now, since I've been starting to do more cardio, I've been running and doing the Peloton more often. I noticed a severe difference in my mental health on the days that I do and do not work out. Like if I'm having a hard day and I have enough wherewithal, I'll be like, oh, I should I should go get some cardio in. Now, the piece that I need to still work on is the weight training, because I know that that's the important piece for my physical health that I'm missing, but it doesn't give me the same mental health bump that cardio does. And it's interesting now that it's for my mental health, I'll do it almost every day. But I did fall off coming back from vacation. I stopped working out, and this is occurring to me like as we're talking, having woken up and not having brushed my teeth last night. I'm like, oh, what have I not been back on track with? And I haven't worked out since I got back from Mexico a week ago. So
so then it's
really hard. It's really hard to get back on. Like once you've like reset, it's hard to be like, okay, back into the rhythm. Like you have to like drag yourself towards it because once you get out of that routine, it's really easy to be like, oh, I don't need to work out. I'm tired today. Oh, I've got to do this and this and this. I can't fit it in. Yes, you can. You can. Yeah. It's just a matter of like, if you're not sick, you should be going. If you're not like, I'm preaching to Bianca right now because she's in the gym with me and she's like, but my legs hurt. And I'm like, but it'll help.
They're supposed to hurt.
They're supposed to hurt. Plus, it'll help. Like once you start moving.
If it's not hurting, you didn't do it right.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel in the gym. If it's not hurting the next day, I didn't work hard enough.
What got me actually to do more of the weight training section, for anybody that's listening that's newly post-op, is that really helps with like the skin because like that was when Dr. Patterson was like, hey, we need to do weight training, a lot of weight training. And I was like, okay, why? Why is that so significant? She's like, well, one, like you're going to lose some muscle as you're losing weight. And then two, like it helps with your skin. She's like, you won't have as loose skin if you have muscle behind it. So if you can do as much muscle training as you can, and then do that, please. Like cardio needs to be second. But I noticed like cardio does make me feel good though. So it's like I can get cardio in 15 to 20 minutes and then I can just go on with all the weight training stuff that I do. But yeah, like that cardio, man, it's a game changer.
Well, and 20 minutes on the Peloton feels like nothing, but 20 minutes doing weight training and I'm like, this is an eternity. 40 days and 40 nights. This weight.
That's how I feel on the stair stepper. I'm like, come on, you got this. I'm starting to love it. And it is like, I'm seeing the butt develop. And I think that's where my brain starts shifting is when you start seeing the muscles being developed and you start seeing, because I've always had a flat butt forever. Like it goes back legs. That's all I got. And now I'm like, I'm getting this like little bubble thing going on. And I'm like, I can feel it when I'm walking and stuff. And I'm like, is this a thing? Like apparently it's a thing.
Butt?
Yeah.
Do I have a butt now?
Yeah. And I'm like constantly like looking in the mirror and asking Zach, like, you see something back there, right? Like it's not just in my head. Like you see it.
Lucky man. He's like, come to me anytime you want to get that checked out.
Right. I'm down. Yeah. I highly encourage taking photos, measurements right in the beginning too. So you can really see the progression.
Phase now where, I've been irregular enough with my exercise where it's that next round of before and after photos that I know could inspire me to try to tone it up.
You got this. You got this. I know that it sounds hard and you make it sound hard in your head and you're like, but then once you do it, it just gets easier and easier. Like,
yeah, it's also one of those things where like weightlifting is not something I've ever done consistently in my life. So I just don't know it as well as like a run or a Peloton ride. Like I know how to do that.
Right.
And the whole thing of like, oh, I don't like doing things I don't know how to do.
Well, it's uncomfortable. It's super uncomfortable. And you don't want to look like an idiot in front of other people.
Well, and I don't go to the gym. I have an 8-pound weight and a 5-pound weight here. So I'll do like abs.
Girl.
You're so
I'm going to start texting you in the morning being like, did you weight train today? Because you should.
Yeah, we have a group chat going. We could just pop that in when we're at the gym. Be like, are you doing your weight training?
Yeah.
Who's working out today?
That's right.
So you strengthen the longevity of your bones.
So I have kind of, and you cannot answer this question if you don't want to, but when you're in your darker moments, where, like, are you still focused on your bariatric journey during those times, or you're just trying to like survive?
Just get through it. Get through it. In those moments, it's, yeah, just like, how do I get through to the next day? And the D's leading up to it too. I drop off my bariatric goals days before that. And so then it's kind of a snowball effect, right? Like I'm not liking myself very much. And so then I'm just trying to do anything to make myself feel nurtured and good, which includes not doing the things that make me feel physically good. And so then I dislike myself for that. And then it gets worse from there. So, yeah, not a great bariatric patient in those moments, but then I'm a great bariatric patient when I come back out of it because I use like focused goals to get back on track.
I'll say, how do you get yourself out?
So today's a good example where like, I don't think I'm in a dark period right now, but last night was a cue for me. So I put some workout time on my calendar. I sat in the bath for 15 minutes and journaled about what my priorities are for today and something I'm grateful for.
Awesome.
I flossed my teeth like extra carefully because that makes me feel like a real grown up.
Right. I love it.
Yeah. And, I haven't done it yet, but I need to like get outside for a walk. Being outside always makes things better. And especially in this pandemic and stuff right now and working from home, I'll realize that I've like not gone outside for 48 hours and that's not good for anybody's mental health.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, getting grounded is super important. Like getting out and like feeling like the air on your skin, even if it's like not sunny, you just need to feel it. You need to be out there. Yeah.
You realize like just how, this is going to sound so freaking cheesy, but like the trees around you and like the neighborhoods that have built, like everything about your neighborhood was so hard. Like the fact that these trees have survived like 50 years but this whole neighborhood just came out of like lumber and like somebody's like idea, like all these things came together. Like everything starts to feel more figure outable. Whereas when you're in an anxiety spiral, the number one thought is like, everything is horrible and I can't out. So if you look around at a lot of things that have been figured out either by nature or by man, then it's easier to pull yourself out of that. The other thing for me, and this is going to sound weird, but is like doing a load of laundry and doing a load of dishes, something that I can have control over and see like a physical, tangible change. So much of my work is theoretical and, it's planning, it's all in the computer and it feels like a never ending list of things. Yes. So if there's something that I can see I've made a difference on, that makes me feel better. My husband thinks he knows I'm crazy because we've been together long enough, but I'll be in an anxiety spiral about everything I need to get done. And then I'll clear out the pantry to reorganize it. And he's like, why would you do this right now?
Yep.
Because I can't control it.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
What I tell Kelly is that it organizes my brain because I do the same thing. I'll just all of a sudden start cleaning a section of my house and I just feel 10 times better when it's done. So I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but it feels so good. And then I realize afterwards, like, oh, I just did that because I needed to like clear some shit out. So that way I can process. Because when I'm doing that and listening to music or a podcast and I'm just like listening and enjoying and like zoning is complete zone mode where I can just like control the end game of this is like, okay, this whole section's clear. Now I can go do my other things. I feel accomplished today.
And I should clarify for folks that haven't heard me on here before, but I do have anxiety and panic disorder. And this last year I was diagnosed with ADHD. So the other thing for me is kind of like figuring out how to clear the fog of the ADHD. And so like this weekend, for example, I was telling Eric, I was like, oh my God, I've got so many things to get done. And it's physically not possible to get everything done that I absolutely have to get done. And then I spent the next hour writing all of the tasks that were like super important onto these little sticky notes and had this like big board of just like sticky notes. And he's like, doesn't that make you feel more crazy? And I'm like, nope, it's out of my brain. It's on a sticky note. It's ordered in priority. And now like, that's done.
Yeah.
I just work through the bits and pieces. So
I have a notepad that I do that with. And every time a thought comes into my head of like, oh, I have to do that, I write it down because then number one, it doesn't get forgotten. And I can go and I can physically look at the list.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel better.
I need to immediately write it down, or else my brain's like, there's a thing you got to remember. There's a thing you got to remember. There's a thing you got to remember. And so I've been taking my sticky notes and a pen with me all around the house. So if something pops up, even things that aren't work related, but I'm like, oh, I need to create my habit tracker. I wrote it down. I need to get Easter stuff for next weekend. I wrote it down, because then it's like, okay, I'll figure out where it goes on the priority list later. But for now, it's out of my brain and it doesn't have to like toggle in there.
Oh, I hate that. Well, it won't leave. So you're like, if I don't just fucking either do this or write it down, it will still keep going and going. And then my brain won't stop thinking about, well, I'm trying to do something else. So it's like, that is super key for anybody that has anxiety. Write the shit down.
Yeah. Just write it down. Get it out of your brain.
Don't feel like accomplishable as a task. I need to make a trip out to Texas here pretty soon. And I have a sticky note that just says like, figure out Texas. Like,
yeah. It doesn't.
What's happening? Are we booking flights? Like,
yeah.
A lot packed into that little sticky note, but it's on a sticky note.
But you know what it is. So kind of changing the subject a little bit. How's your food?
Yeah.
What are you eating? What's your favorite thing?
So I'm still obsessed with strawberry Too Good Greek yogurt with almonds and blueberries. It's my literally every single day item that I'll have.
Nice.
I've been liking open-faced tuna sandwiches with cheese because it's a huge punch of protein. Cheese sticks are helpful. A lot of cheese.
A lot of cheese.
Great protein.
Gallbladder. Thank you very much. I have a lot of almonds, and pumpkin seeds are a great source of protein that are plant-based as well. I will say I've been having a lot more carbs than most bariatric patients do, or probably what I should if I'm still trying to lose weight. I've been rationalizing lately. Rationalizing obviously has a bad connotation, but I think I've made the trade-off lately that like I'm in a season right this second where I'll trade off that extra 20 pounds for some mental health stability. So I'm like, I'm going to have a slice of toast when I feel like I need a slice of toast, and just know that I'm making that choice. Right.
Yes.
That's okay. I'm down at 95 pounds lost. I feel good about my body. Yes, I want to lose 20 more pounds, but not enough to not have that slice of toast right now. And that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. Because
I mean, you're talking about it in your head, like in your head, but you're having that conversation with yourself instead of just mindlessly eating it.
Yeah, and you made the choice.
Yeah, that's the important piece is that I think is a big change from before, that I'm making choices. I'm not just, like you said, mindlessly eating. Last night, I made the choice to have 2 sugar-free popsicles instead of the one that probably would have been enough. So, and that's,
yeah,
fine.
It's totally fine.
It's fine. Yeah,
it is, because it's like, it helps with also control, because like you're making the decision now, you're actually like talking to yourself about it and making sure you're okay with it. So, I mean, I think it's great that at least you're having the conversation, because before we weren't having that conversation.
Yeah, make the choice, own the choice. That's really the only requirement post-op. Like I've heard from some people that it's like no more than 30 grams of protein in a day. Carbs, or no more than blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't actually limit my carbs right now. It's that I aim for a certain number of proteins. And then if there's extra room for carbs, that's fine. But I'm making that choice, knowing that if I'm not losing for a couple of months, given my current habits, then I can then make the choice to make a different food decision.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, and I was talking with Dylan this weekend, because he's like, so do we get a cheat day? And I'm like, we're not doing cheat days. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you just need to get all your protein in. And then if you get an extra, you get an extra. Like, I literally just told him, I was like, cheat days are too much in the diet culture, and it's very toxic. Like, I don't like it at all. And people can be mad at me for it. But I told him, I was like, because we went and saw a movie, went and saw Sonic, and he wanted a small Slurpee. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And he goes, are we having a cheat day today? I go, no, but that's your extra. Like, know that this is special and that this is not something that you have all the time, but like you've had your protein throughout the day, and that's okay. Like you're making that decision, and we're making this together, and we're talking about it. That's what we need to do. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, so we're just going to eat as much protein as possible. And I go, yes, that's
every
the
day,
goal, every day,
all day.
He's like, I can do that. I'm like, thank you. Like, let's move away from all the bad habits that I learned over the 35 years I've been here.
Young too. Like, my daughter is 6 years old, and she's like, Mom, can I have a sugar food now that I've had a healthy food? And I'm like, ooh, there's no like, and that's just a substitute for good versus bad.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, well, babe, like you can have this. Like, how does it make your stomach feel? Like, we just want to feel good as we're eating. Like, do you feel like you put enough fuel in your body and things like that, which all of that is so hard as a kid. Like things are so much more bilateral and like black and white and good and bad. And so it's really hard for her to process that, but I don't want her to have the same, like, oh, well, if I eat ice cream, I'm bad. And now the diet's over. And so I can eat however much ice cream I want, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we just had a conversation. Bianca called me, what was it, last Thursday? And she had gotten a Dutch Brothers caramelizer. And I was like, yeah.
We went through all the stats.
Because I'm learning, like, she needs to know. Like, she needs to know what she's eating. And so I was like, I want you to look up how much carbs, calories, and sugar are in that. And she looked it up, and it is atrocious. It's over 1,000 calories.
Yeah, for like a large
drink.
Yeah.
And over 180 grams of sugar.
Yeah. Whoa, right?
Yes.
And she was like, I can get the medium, right? Because it's like 70 grams. And we're like, no, that's still like
it's
almost
still
your daily.
Just as bad. Like, and I don't want to say bad, but it's just like, that's too much for your system.
That's what I said. Yeah, it was too much.
It's too much. And so she came up with
moderation. But that much at one time. Like, yeah, that is bad for you.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah. And she came up with the thing. She was like, well, what if I have one every other month?
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like that's a good, like, you'll be like, okay, well, you know, I didn't have one in April. Okay. So June, I'm going to have one. Like, you know,
May
or whatever. It's a random time.
Like, when you drink it, like, did it make your body feel good? Were you happy you drank it after?
Right.
That's the part you forget to think about, right? Is like, we remember the want for the ice cream. We remember the like joy in our mouth of the ice cream. But what we tend to forget is the way our body felt after we ate the ice cream. And I'm putting ice cream as the X.
Yeah.
Put it in or whatever. But yeah, like our minds instantly forget the fact that we were like on the toilet or clutching our stomach or vomiting after we ate that thing in excess. And so that's the part pay attention to.
It's the mouth pleasure.
The mouth pleasure.
Yeah, and for some reason our brains will remember the mouth pleasure, but it does not remember the tummy pain.
Nope.
Well, and if I don't know if you read this too, Steph, but like when it comes to negative and pain, like your body tries to not remember it for you. Like it's like a defense mechanism where it's like it's gonna remember the positive more than the negative for like body pain and stuff like that. So like with me breaking my leg, like I don't remember the pain itself. I remember like everything that happened and how it got broken, but I don't remember that pain at all. Having Dylan, like I know it hurt. Like I remember screaming in pain, but I don't physically remember that. But you know what I do remember is when German chocolate cake gets in my mouth and how awesome I feel at that moment. Like I still have that like memory.
I hate this, but that literally made there was a physical reaction. It made my mouth water as you said that.
Yeah.
Where like you talked about giving birth to your child. I've had 2 kids and like I didn't squirm.
Right.
Like it was the most painful thing I've ever gone through. I remember that much, but I don't remember the physical pain. Like it isn't remembered in my body. And that's evolution, right? That's our body. Like, yeah, continue having babies.
Yes. We don't want you to remember how bad it was. So you keep going.
Don't think about that. Think about German chocolate cake.
That's right.
Zach made me a grilled cheese sandwich the other day, and literally I'm sitting at the counter and he's making it and my mouth is just watering. And so when you said that, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, why is my mouth watering?
Yep.
Like
it's an instant reaction.
It is like grilled cheese sandwich. Cool. Water, drool. Like it's for anybody who ever doubts how connected our bodies and our minds are, like think about those scenarios where like someone just says a food you like and you have a physical reaction in your body.
Seriously. And I know the last time we were talking about you traveling and trying to be more like prepped and prepared, like having stuff in the car, having stuff on the airplane. Like how is that going? Because you travel more than anybody I know.
It's going good. So I've found some like snacks that work well for me when I'm traveling. And then I've also gotten a better awareness of like, oh, okay, the little markets in the airport are almost always going to have Greek yogurt or a little protein pack an egg. So give yourself enough time to go in and get that. If you don't have anything at home, you can bring, because like yogurt's considered a liquid, so that you have a hard time getting that through TSA.
Yeah.
So I've gotten better at that for like airline travel. And then in the car, I just keep some like RX bars in the center console.
Nice.
So that I have that. The biggest thing is having enough water with me at all times, because I'm still struggling with plain water. I can't chug it the way that I can, or the way that I used to be able to. And so making sure that I have got enough, like hint water has been a lifesaver for me. Making sure I have water with me everywhere, especially because like my kids and my husband will always drink it if they find it. So, like I've got to basically buy stock in the company at this point. It's a real problem.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I don't think I've tried that. Have we tried HIT?
I have tried it. So it's got carbonation in it, right? Is that the carbonated? No, that's not the carbonated.
Soy without carbonation.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I have a hard time with flavorings.
Yeah.
So the only thing I like my seltzer water that's flavored with lemon. Like that's or Liquid Death that's literally just seltzer water.
Seltzer water.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I like the carbonation. It feels me light.
I do too, but I need it like in a cup of ice. And so I can't like pop a bottle or like a can of, I can't just pop a can of bubbly. Eric was laughing at me yesterday because he bought some for himself. And I was like, ooh, we got some bubbly in the house. I turned it into a big glass with ice and had my straw. And he's like, are you going to actually drink it? And I'm like, no, I need to wait like 5 minutes for part of the bubbles to go away. And he's like, water. I'm like, I just some of the bubbles to go away.
Like, I just want to feel them. Like they don't have to be like all over the place.
Well, and that's why I like Liquid Death, because it is it's less carbonated to me. Like it's carbonated, but it's not, I don't know. It's less fizzy. I don't know. But that's why I spend a lot of money on Liquid Death.
Interesting. So it sounds like you're getting better at preparing for travels.
Yes, I'm getting better at my midnight throwing things into a bag and how to
I believe it.
Deal with the next day whenever you don't have food.
Yes. How's alcohol with you?
It's good. So I'm pretty strict about my like 2 days a week is all I'll drink, because both of my parents are alcoholics. And so the possibility of transfer addiction to alcohol is really high for me. There was a period post-op, I want to say probably when I was close to like the 6-month time frame, where I started catching myself craving. I was craving, what are those like bubbly can drinks?
White Claw?
Yeah, I was craving White Claws. I had bought a big case of them at Costco when I was there one time. So I was like, oh, great deal.
Yeah.
In my fridge, I wanted a couple every night. And I started drinking more often than my 2 days a week. And I was like, oh, it's okay. It's just a couple White Claws. But then I'd get the kids down and I was like, now I want my White Claw. And I was like, oh, that's where addiction comes in. And so I got back to my strict 2 days a week, and we don't really have alcohol in the house other than we have a few wine memberships. So we always have wine in the wine fridge, but that's a little bit more of like an effort to like pop open a bottle of wine. I'm not going to drink the whole thing. So I need a commitment from Eric, so I'm not wasting. So it's more of a thing. So there's no like addiction problem there. When I'm out with other people though, that's where I have a harder time. And for a while I had a strict rule of like no more than 2 drinks in a day. Because I was finding myself getting too drunk too easily.
Okay.
I've slipped off of that. But I think I've found a healthy balance where I know that I can have a little bit more than that, but as long as I'm drinking water in between and drinking slowly and not succumbing to certain friends, you know who you are, that are trying to get me to take shots.
That could be me.
That's not us. I don't know what you're talking about. That is not us.
There's a few of you out there. There's a few of you.
Yes. Some of them might be sitting right across from you. Because I do like shots because of the fact of like, one, there's no like fruitiness, there's no sugar in this. You're getting straight alcohol immediately and you're not wasting it. I really hate drinking calories and carbs and all the whole thing. Like it bugs me. So like I'm water, tea girl, and then tequila shots is what Stephanie has to do with me.
Alcohol, and I don't like the feeling of getting too drunk too fast. I don't like it. out of control as you guys might be able to imagine, because I'm a bit of a control freak.
Well, and I noticed that everybody's different though, because like when I do shots, it takes a while. Like I still take like 30 minutes to feel it. Like, but Kelly's pretty instant.
It's pretty instant.
And
like I'll take it within like 5 minutes. I'm like full effect.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, it takes a good 20, 30 minutes for me to still feel it. What is it like? Yours is pretty instant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's no, I would say 20 minutes or so, but then you run the risk of like if you've taken a shot and then you're like having a mixed drink after that or a glass of wine or something like that, like when that shot kicks in along with the other one, like poof, suddenly you're drunk. You didn't even realize that was about to happen because it took a minute. And so yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't do the dual drinks. I literally just do water. You guys saw me in Vegas. Like literally that's what I would just do, shots with someone and then I'm drinking ice water right after.
Well, and I'm a good time girl, right? Like once I've had a couple drinks and I'm a little tipsy, I'm like, I don't want this party to end ever.
Right. Yes.
Like 48 hours later. No.
I mean, that's how I ended up with a bunch of girls in my room because we're like, what? The music stopped? Oh my God, the batteries are dead. We're going upstairs. Yep. Here we go.
Yep. And but the weird thing is like, even though we were like all having a good time, none of us were drinking in your room.
No one drank in the room. So it was just like everybody was sobering up in the room. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
You get your water in. It's perfect.
But I'm the same way. Like I don't want the party to end.
Yeah.
Like
I like this. I'm out now. I'm an introvert. That's hard to do. It's getting me out. We're here and now I'm having a good time. So it's never going to end. We all live here now.
We all live in this moment.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think back often to the moment that we were all in the bar and we were listening to music and we were singing and we were having such a great time. And those are the moments that I live for.
Yes.
Because it was just so effortless of just everybody talking and singing and like just hanging out. It just gave me all of the warm and fuzzies.
Yeah, that's why I'm like all about now people find your people, because like that just felt amazing to be able to do because like I felt so comfortable, calm, collected. I was having so much fun with and when I loved that table had so many different types of people in it. Really like did. The age ranges were like crazy. They had people that were 60 all the way down to like in their 20s. Like it was just so rad to have different types of people, all of us here for the same thing and having fun at the same time. Like there was no awkwardness. Like everybody like understood like the baseline of like, oh, we all had surgery and we're all drunk after 1 or 2 shots. Yeah. We're just going to have fun together. Yep. It was so much fun.
The same language. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you don't have the awkward small talk with people because it's like you instantly know each other on like an intimate level that even their friends and family might not know them, you know?
Exactly. Have you felt any transfer addiction to anything at all during this, or just the alcohol? Is it just
like
the alcohol?
Alcohol felt like it could be a risk for me, which is why I was like, I'm nipping that one in the bud. Like with like alcohol, you know, addictions like alcohol are very hereditary and both my mom and dad suffer with it. And so like the risk for me before bariatric surgery even was very high for that, especially because I had a tumultuous, traumatic youth. So like your brain is wired to find nurture however it can.
Yeah.
And so the moment I felt the craving for it, instead of just it would be nice, but the like, no, but like I really want it, even though I've already had 2 this week. Like that's where I was like, like, okay, and you know, I'm not perfect. I was like, okay, we're going to get through this case and then I'm going to get good again.
Might lose my money on this.
Yep.
Heaven forbid I throw away or give away a couple Trulies. But yeah, that's where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to have that be the way that I like nurture my struggling brain.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's really fair. What else? Like, what's their NSVs? Because we know the bikini one for sure.
Yes.
Bikini one for sure. And it's funny, I now feel better in I wouldn't say a bikini. Everything has to be high-waisted because I've had children. But I feel better in a 2-piece than I do a 1-piece because my torso is so long. I'm like, nobody needs to see a camel toe in this swimsuit.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Like actually feeling good in a swimsuit because I didn't feel like a 2-piece was really an option before as a big one. Playing with my kids has been a big one. There's so many like little everyday NSVs that happen. I got this really sweet bracelet from a friend who went to Peru, and it was like a bridesmaid gift back in 2017, I think. So I've had it in my jewelry box for like 5 years, and I've never worn it because it's one of those, like, people can't see me on here, but one of those clasp bracelets that goes around your wrist, right? Yes. And it's just like, to get it on my wrist was so loose that it was like just covering the top part of my wrist. And I wore it out the other day, and it was so tight that it like almost could touch the ends of it. Touch. And I was like, this looks so cute on my now dainty little wrist.
Yeah.
You're like, before that wasn't like that.
I love those.
And so there's just those little things too, where I was like, oh man, I get to like wear this jewelry that, I mean, it's sad that jewelers aren't considering big bodied people whenever they're designing stuff like that. So that part I'm still salty about, but I'm happy that I get to enjoy some of those like straight size benefits now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big one.
That's a good one.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And well, then jumping off a boat.
Yes.
That had to have been a.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, I'd do that shit like a big bodied or small bodied, but being able to look at the video, not recoil at my body. I think the biggest NSV for me has been body neutrality. Like my body is just a body. Like it's just like a vessel for which I can do things and stuff. And I think that's what we're all striving for in reality. Like we don't need to love every square inch of our skin. It's not realistic, and you're just going to feel crappy if that's the expectation. But getting to a point where you understand your body is a thing that's taking you through life instead of something that's good or bad has been a big piece for me. Cause, I'm going to give TMI cause that's my MO, but I am a moron. And in the airport on the way back from Puerto Vallarta, the waiter at a restaurant we stopped at specifically told us that they do not have filtered water because we asked for a glass of water. And I was like, great, I'll get a Diet Coke instead. Could I order the salad, which is washed in the water? That is not. So for about a week now, I have been dealing with some like tummy issues.
Yeah.
So when you asked about, like what your food habits are right now, I'm like, just anything that I feel like will stay in my stomach.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. So it was the souvenir that nobody wants.
Yeah.
But even, I think even the understanding that like, I'm just feeding my body for what feels good, and it applies to this just as much as it applies to the bariatric journey, is like, I'm putting things in my body to like make it feel good. And it's less about whether I'm making good decisions or bad decisions or, things like that.
Well, I just love that you're trying to get that out of your brain, the good versus bad. Like there is a lot of gray here when it comes to this journey. Yeah. Like you don't have to just be one or the other. And then squirrel moment, fun story about Puerto Vallarta. So we went for my 30th birthday. And Eric, same thing kind of happened where like, they're like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Cause we were on a boat. We're on a captain's boat for my 30th birthday. It was a pirate boat. And they said, hey, with the shots, like we do wash them, but it's also not filtered when we wash. So we're like, okay, whatever. And like Eric did not either. He didn't hear it or comprehend what was happening, but he just took a shot and then took the drink, like a water back. And I was like, are you going to be okay? And he's like, I think so. Why? And I was like, they just told us that could be like harming to your tummy. And he's like, oh, I'll be fine. Because the next morning we had scheduled like massages. And once we got, yeah, you can kind of see where this is going because we get off the ship. He's starting to feel a little funky. We go straight to the resort. He is pooping and puking like nobody's business in this bathroom all night long. And I was like, babe, I think I just need to reschedule. He's like, no, we're going to the massage. And I was like, no, we're not. He's like, I can hold it. And I was like, no. So like I even rescheduled for later that day because they had nothing for the next day. And then we were going to be gone. And so we did it like later on that, like mid, like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And he still was like, I'm laying next to him. I know what's happening over there. And you can just hear like little toots coming out. I felt so bad for him. He was like, oh, this feels so good and bad at the same time.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine. Like,
I was like, you poor thing.
Nightmare. I hate having, I almost always take Gas X before a massage because I hate having to fart on a massage.
Right. And it's normal. It's completely normal because your body's so relaxed.
And they're pushing stuff at you.
Yes.
You're probably like, great, I nailed it. Like, I'm dying.
I feel so bad. I just remember being like, how are you? And he's like, I need to go to the bathroom, like stat. And I was like, okay, let's just go right back up to the room.
Oh man, that sucks.
Oh man. So yes, guys, if they say they didn't filter the water, just don't drink it.
Apparently not.
Don't do it.
Get fresh vegetables.
Yes.
Do not get unless it's brought in from elsewhere.
Yes.
We did ask about the ice. I had that much wherewithal, but I've done a ton of international travel, but it's been a couple of years. So apparently the pandemic ruined me for smart travel as well.
Well,
it happens.
You'll learn. You'll get back there.
I lived in West Africa for a while and I've backpacked through Southeast Asia and Central America. My stomach was resilient. Like I did not get food poisoning or travel sickness ever.
That's awesome.
Is the first time I've gotten it post-op and I'm like, they cut out my resilient bacteria.
They did.
They cut it out. Mm-hmm. I'm like, holy crap. That would have never made me sick before.
No.
Wow.
I eat a chicken sandwich and watch the chickens like eating in the sewer next to me. I'm like, we're fine.
That's how I would be. I'd be like, it's fine.
No big deal.
As long as it tastes good. That's all that matters.
My body can handle it. It's fine. No, not so much.
My gosh. That's hysterical.
If you had a resilient stomach before and then had weight loss surgery, do not make any assumptions.
Yes.
Just assume you have a new baby belly because you do.
You totally do. And it's going to react completely different than what you expect it to. So just be prepared.
Yes.
And it's so much worse to get food poisoning after surgery than it is.
It super
I've gotten sick a few times and it's not fun.
I remember the first puke was very scary. I remember being very nervous. Like, this is going to hurt.
Foamy.
Yeah.
For me. Like it's like foamy and you're not like puking a lot. So it's like,
really unsatisfying.
It's very unsatisfying. Like you're puking it up and you're just like, and you're just gagging. Like I couldn't like get anything out.
Because nothing came out, really.
Exactly. And I just hate the feeling of like gagging.
Oh, it's
like that's my least favorite feeling in the world.
I used to puke where like I would get little blood spots on my face. That's how hard I would puke before.
Oh.
I looked like I had freckles all of a sudden for like 2 days straight.
Yeah. You were suddenly a ginger.
Yeah. And I kind of liked it because it looked kind of cute because it's all like right here in your nose.
My gosh.
And
I kind of liked it.
I did. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so Stephanie, what tips and tricks would you give everybody listening right now?
Tips and tricks.
Yes.
I'm going to do a self-promotion for a second. Join book club because that has been a really good like monthly touchstone for me. Mm-hmm. And it's like, even if I've completely fallen off track, like having that regular conversation and like getting through the book, like pulls me back into the journey. Nice. I think that's one of the easy things, like a year plus post-op, like you get pulled back into your regular life. You can start eating pretty normally again. You can start drinking pretty normally again, and it's really tempting to just kind of fold back out of the bariatric community. It's not nearly as sexy. You don't want to like be posting as much, but the moment you like pull out of all of that chatter, you run the risk of slipping back into your old habits. Yes. That 1 year is not enough for us to change all of those habits we spent 30 odd or however many odd years building. And so it's important for us to stay in it longer than that. And for me, book club helps me with that. Instagram does as well, but you guys probably have noticed I've been less like active on there just because when there's too much for me to do, that's an easy thing for me to cut. So that's a big one, is like figuring out, it doesn't have to be book club, but figuring out your way to like have an accountable like touchstone that you're coming back.
A support system.
Yeah. How do you stay in it? That's a big deal. Whatever it is, do it.
Support system you can avoid, right? So like it can't be you can't say like, oh, Instagram is my support system. Well, you can just not open Instagram for weeks on end, right? So that's not really any accountability there. So that's the biggest one. I think I don't track my food at all. It's incredibly triggering for like, Weight Watchers days for me. But tracking protein and water. So anytime I feel like I'm like, my body doesn't feel great, like I'll track my protein and water for a few days and be like, oh, that's why.
That's good though, that you at least like caught it and then you track it just to see. Because if it is triggering, don't do it.
Yeah.
If it's not triggering, I suggest you do it.
Because it's very triggering for me also. I don't like doing it because then I flash back to Weight Watchers, exactly what you're saying.
It's very all or nothing for me. Like either I'm tracking everything forever or I'm not doing it at all, eating whatever I want. So it pulls me into that all or nothing thinking. But if I have decided like, okay, I'm just going to track protein and water and it's just going to be for the next 3 days so that I can see if some of the things I'm eating regularly are getting me to where I want to go, then that's the data I need to make changes from there. Because I eat pretty much the same foods all the time. Right. So you eat very regularly at the same times and like you reach for the same things. So in those 3 days, you gather some data, you can make changes there. So
for sure. What is the biggest thing that you learned from this from this journey so far?
That I'm a lot crazier than I thought I was. Like, I didn't realize, I say that jokingly, but I didn't realize like how bad my mental health was until I started going through this because I was covering it up with binge eating. And so once you take that away and you're forced to face the stuff you've gone through, it can be a little demoralizing. So I'm like, oh man, everybody's applauded me for being such a well-adjusted adult given my upbringing. And I'm like, well, I'm not.
Yeah.
So that part's been like a tough realization, but I'm building the mental health skills that'll last me forever. So
and I can really relate to that because everybody said that about me and my brother. They're like, I don't know how you two have been able to like come out of this the way that you are.
Yeah.
And thinking about it though, it's like, yeah, we did well. But, Matt got up to 427 pounds and I got up to 308. So there's reasons why we're able to cope was because we learned that, food is what made us feel comforted during those times of crazy.
Trauma, and we put it over here into some food so that we could be successful in everything else.
Yes.
Whereas, other people that may have gone through this, like, are just like doggy paddling through life because they didn't dump all of that into food. So I don't have any resentment for my obesity because I'm grateful that I found food as a tool to get through stuff whenever I needed it. And now I have a tool to deal with that now that I'm in a better place to like pick the trauma back up and like muddle through it.
Yeah. And I feel better older being able to muddle through because I feel like I have more tools, more resources to process all that because back then there's no way. Like my parents weren't about having help or like, a counselor. So like that wasn't going to be that route. It would probably would have been drugs and alcohol and then in food, of course, because my family runs all alcohol abuse and all like narcotic abuses. So it's like I have to be very careful as well because it's like, this runs through the whole family.
Yeah.
Like I need to be very careful.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I remember a time when we moved in together because my father is also an alcoholic. And I remember telling you, like, if I'm drinking too much, I need you to tell me because I don't want to get into a loop where I'm drinking and not even realizing that I'm doing these behaviors. And then it becomes full-blown alcoholism. Like I don't want that to happen. So I think it was our first place together.
I think so too.
When you lived there but not lived there with Pig.
Oh, with Megan.
Megan.
Oh, wow. Wow. Did you just say that?
Yep, I did. Because that was
yes, I lived there part-time because no one would come over. That's what happened.
Yes, but she was supposed to move in. Long story short, I was like, hey, can you just keep an eye on what I'm doing?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, and if anybody has any problems with alcohol or gambling or any types of addiction, like go to the support groups, go do those things. It's not shameful. It's not embarrassing. You need that help. It's okay. That's the whole point of this is like, if you need help, ask for it. You don't have the answers for everything.
That's such an important thing I and I hope others have learned through this journey as well is like, you're not at fault for whatever like vice or illness you have, right? Like in our case, like I turned to binge eating as a like quote unquote vice or a solve for like trauma that I'd been through. Some other people turn to alcohol. Like that's not your fault. Like that's just a reaction to the stuff that you went through.
Right.
All that you can hold accountability for is like, are you taking positive steps? And you're going to slip up. Like I literally had cheese puffs last night. Not that I'm saying that's a bad thing, but I probably had more than I made me feel good. So that's not great.
Right.
But it's not, there's no fault there. There's no blame. There's no like, it's not a worth related thing. And I think once you sit and think about that, you're like, oh no, logically it doesn't diminish your self-worth by eating something. But at our core, because like what we're trained is like eating this is bad and therefore I am bad.
Right.
Like that's what we believe. And so kind of breaking that thinking has been the biggest thing. And that's, for me, that would have been impossible to do in my bigger body. Like I just couldn't get there.
No.
And so losing the weight has made it possible for me to like look at myself more as, a human with a body instead of just a body.
Oh, I like that. Let's end on that note. That's nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Steph, for letting us hang out with you for this last year today.
I can't believe it's over.
I know. We're going to have to be like 2 years out, be like, where is she now?
Where are you now?
I'll be like, what? I had bariatric surgery?
You're like, what's that? No. You'll be just planning the next retreat for all of us so we can go hang out. That's what's going to happen. Yes. So if you guys haven't bought tickets to the retreat, it's bariatricsociety2022.com. You can go to all the links in their bios. It's going to be in our description.
Bariatricretreat2022.com.
Yeah. Oh, did I say it wrong?
Yeah, bariatricretreat2022.com. I just did it in one breath, people, and I am sick. Or bariatricsociety.com. We will have them linked below.
That's right. Yes. We'll make it easier since we can't talk today. It's totally fine. And then San Diego event is in a few weeks. You got 2 weeks left for that one. $35 for the tickets. BarryDiaries.com.
Yes.
And you get to see us. We're super excited about going. It's going to be so much fun. I've already
got an outfit planned.
Yeah, I got one going on in my head. I can't wait.
Ooh, I just bought a new outfit, so I'm pretty excited.
You guys can find me on Instagram at onehungrymother with underscores between the words, or at Bariatric Book Club, or at Bariatric Society.
Or, just kidding.
She is there. Don't you worry. One Hungry Mother is everywhere. You can find her if you need any help. I know that she is willing to help anybody that needs it.
Every single DM like a psychopath.
We do too. We feel ya.
Yeah, we have to.
And again, go to YouTube. It's on your freaking phones. Type in Our Sleep Life Podcast. Click the bell. Click subscribe. Helps us more than it helps you. But you do get videos every single Tuesday because Tuesday is a huge drop day for us.
It is. You get new episodes, new videos. The patrons get their new episodes.
That's right.
It's a huge day.
That's right. So come on and hang out with us. And I think that's everything.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you.
We adore you. All right. We love you guys, and we will see you
next time.
Bye.